All right, here we go. The 6AX Classic Breakfast with Nat and Westo.
Well, it's Nat Westo from the 6X Classic Brekkie coming to the end of another week, which means we are setting up another podcast.
Yeah, so just had a situation. My nose this week, Westo, has been in all sorts of places. Like I literally just took a nosedive into the chair in the other studio.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is about 20 years old, those
Yeah.
chairs. I was on the floor and I was putting a USB into the computer on the floor, and then I was trying to get myself up off the floor. By the way, somebody of my age should not be on the floor. But I thought I'll just help myself up with the aid of the chair. Slipped, and literally my face just smooshed well and truly into the chair. And I have inhaled stuff I don't even want to think about.
Yeah, you also... I wasn't here for this, but I heard about it from Tim. He was having a closed-door meeting on a computer conference thing, and you walked into the closed door of his office, which if it was a glass door I could understand, but it's a very solid, very black, you can't miss it sort of door, and you just walked straight into it.
Mate, I was busy. I've got a lot of things going on in my brain, and looking out for a closed door or a chair that's had 20 years of people's bums on it is not something that's top of mind. But I am going to do a little bit of a nasal drain with the Dettol. Anyway, podcast.
What are you doing?
Okay, so birthday presents. We're chatting about your dad's 90th is coming up.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the perfect present for your dad.
Sure.
And they found a little monkey that's gone missing. She's been missing for like 2 days. They found her inside a marijuana growery. She was having a blast. Discussing the world's smallest sport.
Yeah, that's a bit of fun.
Which is something that you found on the dark web.
Yeah, no, it's all there to be had. Apparently, it's a real thing.
Okay.
We'll discuss.
We will discuss. And did you know, apparently, 21% of Australians would ditch their partners if they won big on Lotto?
Yeah, it depends on how much I won.
Well, true. So we put the question out there during the week, and we're playing back some of the calls that you made to us.
The 6AX Classic Breakfast with Nat and Westo.
Look, I'm doing a bit of a countdown.
I know what this is a countdown to.
Have a stab.
Old mate's getting older. He's going to be 90, isn't he?
Dad, yes, on the 27th.
Oh, my gosh.
At this stage, just one day at a time.
Just out of interest, because the man's lived a long life, almost 90 years.
Yeah.
What do you get for somebody who's 90? Like, they pretty much got everything, haven't they?
He hasn't got much left at all because he's in aged care.
Have you come up with any ideas for prezzies?
Teeth. Zimmer frame.
I was thinking some nice bed socks.
Some nice bed socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Your other half likes to rub the lotion in the skin.
Yes,
in the old footle area, doesn't she?
Yes.
And then you could pop on some nice fluffy bed socks. Probably not ideal for summer.
No, not for summer.
But certainly as it starts getting cooler.
Although even in summer, we've been round to visit. He's in bed and he's got jeans and a jumper and he's got either a beanie or a cap on or something.
Bless his heart.
So he's obviously feeling the cold.
Get him one of those cuddly onesies. Like, dress your dad up as a bunny rabbit or something. You know those onesies you can get?
Well, we are coming up to Easter, aren't we?
We are, and they enclose the foot and the hands and everything, and then you've got the bunny ears on the top.
We could rent him out for people that sort of want to have like an Easter bunny.
Yeah.
arrive.
I mean, a grumpy old bunny, let's be honest. But I think that's a
can
great
barely
idea
walk.
because you can get those little onesies for babies.
Right.
You just zip them up and everything's encased, and then you can get them for the older generation as well, like your dad.
I went to Churchill's bunker years ago.
You
in
did?
London, yeah.
Oh, this is not like two men walk into a bar. This is a real thing.
Yeah, real thing.
Yeah.
Apparently that's how he conducted the war effort in his bunker.
What, in a bunny onesie?
Not in a bunny onesie, but in a onesie. And he would drink all day.
This is Churchill.
Yeah.
See, I have a vision now of Winston Churchill in a bunny onesie. And he's drinking the whiskey, but he's also famous for those cigars
for the
as
cigars.
well.
Yeah.
There's an image. You don't see that when you go onto Wikipedia and look up old Winston Churchill, do you?
No, and just a reminder that it is potentially dangerous if you're going to sit in bed conducting a war effort in your onesie while you're drinking heavily and smoking a cigar. Don't fall asleep because you could start a fire.
Well, that's it. So they're so full of polyester, those things. You go up,
consider this a community service announcement.
Nat and Westo, the only way to start your morning. The classic breakfast on 6AX.
As you know, I went diving down in Busselton on the weekend with a friend I went to high school with. Morning, Troy. And a big shout out to Troy's mum, who listens to 6AX every day. So we had to walk along the jetty because you can't catch the train. They won't let you on the train.
With your dive gear?
With all your dive gear.
Right.
So I've got myself the little trolley. And I forgot that the Busselton jetty is 1.6 kilometres long.
Yes, 1 mile in the old money.
So 1.6 kilometres there and then 1.6 kilometres back. I am sore in places that I didn't even know existed. I didn't even realise I had muscles in my buttocks, but apparently I do.
Oh, no, you do.
I do, and I need a damn good rub down. So this morning I'm walking around like John Wayne. I did 15,000 steps on Saturday, and my body was like, sorry, who are you? We don't know who you are. You barely even make it up to 5,000 every day. So anyway, we got down to the end of the jetty, we jumped in, and they've got all those underwater sculptures. So things that have been specifically built to create their own ecosystem. So there's all the moss and stuff growing on it and the algae, and then you've got all the fish around there as well. It was just incredible. Then we walked all the way back another 1.6 kilometres. I thought, I'm feeling a little bit parched. So I said to Troy, we can just go, or did you want to rehydrate with a couple of brewskis at Shelter Brewery? A man after my own heart, he said, I think we should have a couple of brewskis. So we did that. Then I went back to the caravan. Then we went back that night. This time, instead of walking, we went on the Swan dive boat. Big shout out to Jesse and his fabulous team.
That saved you a bit.
Swan dive.
Yep.
It saved us a bit, I tell you what. Fantastic down there, and so different to diving during the day because it's pitch black. You can't see a hand in front of your face. At one point, I actually turned my torch off because I thought, how dark is it? Oh, yeah, it's dark down there. And the only thing you can see is what's directly in front of your torch. So it was great, though. We saw some ockies. I thought, I'll make friends with an ockie. You know how you put your hand out there and then the little octopus puts his little tentacles? No, this thing just shot off. Want my money back.
Well, you knew that you like to eat octopus.
Yeah, I was like, I could see you with some salt and pepper. Saw a cat shark, and then we saw literally hundreds of sea slugs. Have you ever seen a sea slug, mate?
Yes.
Possibly the most unattractive thing that I've ever seen because they look like they sound. Not unlike some of the guys in their towels in your gym sauna, Westo. Sad old things flopping around on the seabed. But here's the thing. I got bitten.
Oh.
No idea by what. It wasn't a shark, it wasn't a snake, and it was not while I was in the ocean. I was walking the jetty in the morning and I felt this pinching sensation, then a burning on my upper arm, and right on my old bingo wings, the old fubitas, I've been bitten.
Yeah.
And it started off as a little red patch, and I showed you this morning.
Yeah.
It has overtaken my entire bingo wing.
Yeah,
It's
whole
swollen.
upper arm, all red.
Itchy. There's a hard lump in there. I look like Popeye, mate. So I think it's off to urgent care this morning after we finish. Upside, if I start getting some spidey senses tingling, I may just be a superhero.
The classic breakfast with Nat and Westo on 6AX.
Why don't they have those missing children things on our milk bottles in Australia?
That's a good point. Did we ever have them at any
I
stage?
don't know. They've got them in the USA. I think they need to start one for missing monkeys.
Oh, really?
A little macaque monkey has gone on walkabout. They found her passed out in a cannabis growery.
For a second I thought this was going to be about Punch, the macaque.
Well,
No, okay,
Punch may enter into it at
Okay.
some stage.
Okay.
This macaque monkey has been missing for 2 days.
Okay.
Finally found inside this local cannabis growery.
Just their macaque in itself, was it?
She's broken in and treated herself to an all-you-can-eat buffet. They've got security cameras set up inside this cannabis growery. And you can see this little monkey, she's snuck in and then she's gone up to one of the marijuana plants and she's pulled a leaf off. She's having a little suck, a little nibble on the marijuana leaf. She's thinking, hey, this is paradise. This is like all my Christmases have come at once. So she's gone through the entire growery, picking these leaves off, worked her way through half of it, she's had trouble walking because she's that intoxicated with the drug.
Maybe she had joint problems.
Maybe she's got a medicinal cannabis pass and she's allowed to do it. She's sort of stumbling around, much like me on a Saturday night, and then she's found herself a heat lamp.
Okay.
And she's fallen asleep under the heat lamp. If you zoom in on the picture of her under this heat lamp, you can just see that she's surrounded by some brownies and there's a large bucket of KFC. So staff have come the next morning and they found this macaque dead to the world. Not dead, but...
No, just peacefully sleeping.
She's peacefully sleeping. So they've returned her to her macaque home. And they've mentioned that it's the worst case of munchies they've ever seen on camera. Obviously, these people do not have an internet connection because I've seen some pretty interesting Charlie Sheen videos online. But you mentioned Punch before. Punch, the abandoned baby monkey.
Yeah.
Well, at least now we know where Punch's mum has disappeared to. She's got a nasty drug habit.
Making every morning a classic. Nat and Westo, the classic breakfast on 6AX.
Can we please discuss public transport, in particular the trains coming back from Optus Stadium on Tuesday night after the Matildas game? I don't really do public transport. There's no public transport running at 4 o'clock in the morning anyway.
Yeah.
But as you know, the only way to sort of get to Optus is via train. 35,000 people attended that Matildas China match. I am sure that about 30,000 were squashed onto the first Yanchep train. So imagine, if you will, where they go out fishing and they put the net out and then they catch all those sardines, pull them in, and then they squash them into a John West sardine tin. That was my journey on the train. I got myself a seat. I was pretty happy I scored a seat. Chris was sat next to me. It was those sideways seats with the fold-down seats. As soon as you stand up, slap up.
Flip up.
Yeah. So make sure that you put your cheek on it before you sit down. We had a spare spot next to us. So a young woman sat down next to me and she had a little boy with her. He would have been 8, 9 years old. She's hanging on to him because he's trying to do some pole dancing and then he's doing some chin-ups on one of the bars. So she's yanked him down, put him on her lap. I don't know if he's had some hot dogs or some red jelly beans. I don't know, but this kid was hyped. Then he decided, I'm going to release some of this energy by kicking my feet straight into my knees. Oh. So I gave him the hairy eyeball. That didn't work. So what I'm doing is I'm edging up to Chris. Within a few minutes, I was virtually sitting on Chris's lap. But the worst thing was, because we were sitting sideways, we were directly next to travellers hanging on to those monkey bar situations, you know, along the centre of the train, and you've got to put your sweaty old armpit up and hang on to that. Let's also remember it was a 35-degree day in Perth. We were all pumped up with endorphins because the Matildas had beat China and we went to the finals, the first time in 10 years. There was a lot of stale sweat flying around that train. I'm sitting down. I'm eye to eye with everybody's waists. There was a middle-aged guy in front of me hanging on to one of these bars. And he decided to wear jeans on a 35-degree day. And I thought, well, there's probably better options for you, but the jeans were it. He was working up a fair bit of sweat, and his jeans were sort of lodged under his beer belly. Not Harry high pants up above his belly. He'd pushed them down underneath his belly. And he had an Aussie, oi, oi, oi t-shirt on. But of course, as he was lifting up to hold onto the handle, that shirt rose.
Good look.
And he had a fair bit of belly hair happening down there, which is fine. But they were virtually poking me in the eyeballs. This is not ideal. And then I made the mistake of looking down. I am directly eye level with his undercarriage.
Right.
I'm probably about 2 inches away from said undercarriage. And you know how it rocks on the trains? There were times there I thought, I may need some time off work for maternity leave. Before he left, I pulled one of his belly hairs out because I thought, I'm going to do a DNA test just in case.
The classic breakfast with Nat and Westo on 6AX.
Can I interest you in a new sport that may not fill your family with as much pride as, say, winning gold at the Olympics, but it could get you in the history books and
Hobby horsing.
leave you $100,000 better off. No.
Tiddlywinks.
No. The organisers have compared this to Formula One, but at the atomic level.
Oh, I don't know if my insurance will cover me for that.
Yeah, not that kind of atomic. We're talking about the size of an atom. Strict rules around the first ever sperm racing World Cup.
Okay, so this is probably something I'm not able to compete in.
No, unfortunately, your eligibility.
There are certain items that I don't have
I wanted to get
in
you
my
excited
arsenal.
about that. I'm glad they're not in your arsenal. It's a science-based competitive sport. It burst onto the scene last year. There was 2 US students that literally went head-to-head and wanted to see whose mini-me's were faster. It does sound like a bit of a joke, but it's all about turning health into competition and doing serious research, because apparently male fertility has very quietly decreased about 60% in the last 50 years.
It's the tight undies.
Could be.
I'm telling you, it's the tight undies.
Could be the environment.
Boxer shorts, gentlemen.
Constitution, the vibe. So obviously a lot of people are getting some humour out of this, but they're researching into the motility, how fast the swimmers are, because that's a massive factor in fertility. Can they take drugs?
Performance-enhancing drugs?
I think that's one of the best things about this, because performance-enhancing drugs tend to mess with that sort of region.
So they're not helping with the speed of the little fellas?
No, so that's not going to be an issue in this sport, because it decreases that kind of thing.
Is that right?
You can cross that
so much.
Straight out. So obviously there's a whole bunch of criteria around. First of all, you got to be 18 plus to get in there. I'm just wondering how they get them in the tiny uniforms and all that, so get them up on the winners' podium.
Where are you going to put the medal?
And apparently somehow they do a little tiny track, and then there's a 3D rendered design for the viewer experience, which I'm really excited to watch.
Sounds like those little flea circuses back in the day.
Except even smaller. They're calling it the world's smallest sport. They want to make it as entertaining as other sporting spectacles, so they're promising press conferences. That's going to be interesting.
Okay. Not sure they've got a lot to say.
I don't know if it's with the donors or the actual participants.
Yeah.
Weigh-ins. I checked the weight. The average weight of one of these little tackers is 17 to 23 picograms. In other words, 0.00000000017 of a gram.
Unless they have carbs, if they carb up the night before. If they have spaghetti bowl or lasagna, they're done for, mate.
Usually if it's a weigh-in, you'll see the little guys just sitting in the sauna trying to lose weight.
Exactly,
generally.
so they don't want to carb up.
They're going to thrilling commentary for this as well. But in really positive news for men all around the world, this is the one scenario where it's not just okay, it is actually a triumph for the man to finish first.
Nat and Westo, the only way to start your morning. The classic breakfast on 6AX.
So, Westo, we're talking about hitting it big in the Lotto. Of course, somebody last night won $15 million.
And again, it wasn't me.
No, well, you need to buy a ticket to actually win.
Right.
But this has surprised me. 21% of Australians would leave their lover after they won Lotto. It's just shocking, mate.
Outrageous.
You're okay, Chris. You're safe. Chris, my partner, of course, buys the Lotto, so I ain't going nowhere. So that's what we're asking you today. If you won big in Lotto, would you flick the other half?
Okay, Wayne from Maylands. If you win the Lotto, mate, are you going to leave the partner?
Well, that depends on how serious it is. If serious, I'd have to really think about it.
What you mean? How serious the win was? Whether it was 20 million or
the win's one thing, but how serious the relationship is too. I wouldn't tell them straight away.
Ah, okay. You're making work for it. Is there a bottom dollar that you would decide to flick the partner?
A couple of million. I need enough to support myself. If I was having to support somebody else, I'd need a lot more than that. It probably wouldn't last long if you had a partner. They'd be spending it all on you.
If you and I were together, I certainly would be.
Did you know we had another winner last night? Took out the whole 15 million. And it wasn't me.
Did you actually buy a Lotto ticket, though?
No.
So, Malcolm from Ashfields, would you leave your partner if you won the Lotto?
No.
You thought long and hard about that, Malcolm. I mean, did it go through your mind then?
Yeah, well, put it this way, you can't take your money with you.
Yeah, but you can't take your partner with you either. I think that's illegal.
Yeah, well, that's it. Unfortunately, you get greedy people that'll take whatever they can get.
That is true. So the advice you're giving us, Malcolm, is you'd stay with your partner and you do everything in your power to spend all that money before you pop your clogs, correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, mate, remember your friends here at 6AX. If you win the Lotto and you've got money to spend, we're happy to help.
Yes.
Right, we've got that on record. Thank you. Good luck. We hope you win, because then we'll benefit. Andrew from Langford, what about you?
I think that 21% are the people that shouldn't have got married to start with. When you get married, it's to your best mate.
I'm in the same boat as you,
agree.
mate. It's taken me a long time to find someone that can put up with me. And lucky for her, she hasn't got to live with me. Nat's in the same boat, mate. She only has to put up with me at work.
Well, you can't buy tolerance, can you?
No, but you can buy a big hammer.
Right, so this morning we are talking about lotto wins and people leaving their partners after they've won.
Chris from South Lake, would you walk out on him, mate? What's going on?
No, I don't think I would because, I mean, if you're happy together and you're broke or you're just making ends meet, you'd be even happier. But by the same token, I don't think that I would share exactly how much I won with him. Say if I did scoop, say, 10 mil, I'd be more inclined to tell him that I only won like $1 million. I wouldn't disclose the full amount because I think sometimes that then makes people become like the green-eyed monster and become greedy.
Yeah.
Would you put him on, say, a retainer for his services?
No, I already feed the man. What more do you want?
So what are you doing with the rest of the money? Because I would pull it out of the bank and then I would stuff my mattress. And it would be one of those really huge mattresses like the Princess and the Pea.
Good to know, because I know where you live.
I've got 3 guard dogs, mate. Just be careful.
I've met your dogs. They weigh 3 kilos. 21% of Australians have said they would leave their partner if they won Lotto.
We're asking if people would leave their partners if they won big on Lotto, Margie. How about you?
We have given this a lot of thought and we have decided that if we won Lotto, what would happen? Well, I think I've decided is that we would split the money in half.
Yeah.
We would build side-by-side houses.
Yeah.
He would live in his house. I would live in mine. He can spend whatever he wants on whatever he wants. I'll spend mine on whatever I want. And then we'll just come together whenever we feel the need to come together.
That's pretty ingenious.
Yeah.
Is this stemming from the fact, Margie, that you're worried about him using your towels when he gets back from the eastern states and moves back home?
Absolutely. Not just my towels, my bathroom, my laundry. And we'd have separate cars as well because he's always adjusting my seat height, my light, everything.
I hate
so
that.
It's just there's, yeah.
Would you have a connecting door between the two properties?
A bridgeway, a walkway across so we can connect, yes. And then we get the best of both worlds. He can do his thing, I can do mine, and then we'll have maybe dinner or we'll throw stones at each other or do something interesting like that.
I love it, mate. There's a bridge to connect when you want to connect.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
The Classic Breakfast with Nat and Westo. Weekday mornings from 5:30 on 6AX.
I'm done. Stick a fork in me. I feel good.